That's going. What's going on, guys? Welcome to a special MOC exclusive episode, all from mindofcarnage.com. I am yours truly, Kate Carnage, and I am here today with a special guest because this is the first ever MOC exclusive episode. I have stopped my MOC podcast. Unfortunately, I am a part of Wrestle Addict now, which is part of the Levels of Wrestling family, so make sure to check us out there. Every podcast can be heard on levelsofwrestling.podbean.com, so make sure to check that out there. So this will be the first MOC exclusive, and I have with me today a great guy. He is a commissioner of Future Stars of Wrestling. He is a radio host of X107.5, where you can listen to him every weeknight, I believe at 9 p.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. And someone who can out-talk music any day with anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present to you Pauly Kover. Sir, how are you?
All those lies. All those lies.
It's all lies. That's all it is. Everything I say from now on is just lies.
I really do appreciate you having me on, because I'm normally on the other side of the interview, whether it's wrestling or radio, interviewing musicians or professional wrestlers, and now it's great to talk to you. You're in Canada? What is this? What is that accent?
I'm in Canada. You know, the Igloo is getting enough signal to get you on here, so you know it's going good so far. Thankfully, though, it's not freezing cold up here. It was like 2 degrees yesterday, so
it's freezing down here. It's like 65, something like that right now.
I don't go by Fahrenheit.
That's right. That's that weird foreign stuff. All right.
Yeah, we go by the sea. I don't know, Celsius. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, he is a commissioner for Future Stars of Wrestling, which is a Las Vegas promotion out there. For those people who don't know it, do you want to give a little bit of description of what FSW is for those who don't know it? Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can find the link for FSW website underneath this video, so make sure to check that out. But feel free to...
Well, FSW started back in 2009. I didn't start until 2011. So those first 2 years, I really am not exactly sure what happened because it doesn't concern me. But no worries. It actually started in a flea market with no AC and a bunch of really dedicated fans and wrestlers and a couple owners, Joe DeFalco and Rocky T, that really put their heart and soul and their bank accounts into Future Stars of Wrestling. They bought their own facility, started training wrestlers with a school, and then started running in casinos like the Silver Nugget, then Sam's Town, and now we're at the Silverton Casino, like tomorrow night, as a matter of fact.
There you go. First casino show, I believe, of 2016.
Yes, and I cannot wait to have several hundred fans packed into Silverton Casino, and the dynamics of that room and listening to the acoustics and how every time the crowd either boos or cheers, I don't care what it is, as long as they're making noise, the adrenaline just pumps every single time.
And that's exactly what you want in a show too. You want that adrenaline.
You don't want them sitting on their ass. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Now, being the commissioner of FSW, obviously you have a lot of guys that you got to deal with, a lot of storyline. There's a lot of stuff that it's on your plate when it comes to the shows. Yeah. I always say this with anyone that I interview. What is your vision for FSW? Do you have a vision that you want this company to go to a certain place, that you want this company to be obviously mega, one of the better indie promotions out there? What is your vision for Future Stars of Wrestling?
Well, you want to spread outside of Las Vegas. You want to go into California, go into Utah, go into Arizona, and then eventually the entire country and worldwide. That is the vision. We're running in casinos. We're not running in VFW halls or high school gymnasiums. We're running out of casinos in Las Vegas, one of the greatest cities in the entire world. So all eyes are on us. You notice Ring of Honor, they do their shows out here now. FW did their shows out here. WWE, rumored to be doing a huge show this coming summer. They're always in Las Vegas. This has now become the hub of professional wrestling, and Future Stars of Wrestling should be the very top of that list.
Specifically in your territory, too.
Yes, absolutely. We have some of the best stars that roll through here. Stars that you have seen in WWE, TNA, WCW, ROH, Lucha Underground, you name it, they've come through FSW.
They see the benefit of FSW, too, and there's a reason why it's called Future Stars of Wrestling. You know, you build the stars from the ground up, and you also have these other bigger stars coming in to be able to highlight these newer stars as well. Speaking of them, here we go, exactly. When it comes to the actual talents that FSW has, which one stands out to you the most?
Oh, gee, I wonder who that could be.
The man that you've had problems with?
The FSW World Heavyweight Champion Kevin Cross. Yes.
Which, by the way, has been interviewed by myself. So
I saw a
if
very
you guys,
good interview, by the way. Excellent job.
thank you very much. If you guys want to catch that, make sure to check that out on YouTube at Cade Carnage, or Mind of Carnage actually, or the mindofcarnage.com website. But I felt after I interviewed him, I'm like, I gotta get Pauly Kover on, man. I gotta get you on. I gotta see your point of view. Now with Kevin Cross himself, obviously you guys have had your little issues left, right, and center. Your overall thought of him as in the professional manner as an actual talent. Your thoughts on him?
It's the best thing FSW has. That doesn't change my opinion of how he conducts himself. When he started, we were great friends. I was just host of FSW and just helping out with the promotion and interviewing the guys. And he was a great talent, came in as bodyguard for FSW owner Joe DeFalco. And as soon as he got in the ring, he started picking on the little guys. And the little
He's a big guy too, yeah.
He's a big guy, so pretty much everybody in FSW is smaller than Kevin Cross. He was kind of being a bully, and it didn't need to. And then when he started going in there against guys his own size, he would torture them mentally, physically. He would stalk them. Tyshawn Prince, for example, giant monster of a man. He dominated future stars of wrestling. Kevin Cross comes in. He handcuffs this mate. Oh, he didn't handcuff him to the top rope. He made Tyshawn Prince handcuff himself to the top rope. And then he proceeded to beat up the security guard that was protecting me from getting hit by a steel chair before signing a contract to face Tyshawn Prince. And that was when I knew that this was going to his head all too fast and way too much. Then, I don't know if you saw a Periscope video I put out once of backstage.
No.
It was Tyshawn Prince, Chris Masters in the ring. They just won their match. And Kevin Cross was in Japan, or stuck in Japan, and was actually backstage. Found his way inside of the arena, and he snuck attacked both the guys, hit them with chairs, dropped them on their necks, beat the hell out of them to the points where Tyshawn Prince has not been heard from again in future stars of wrestling. And that's when I went to the owners, Rocky T, Joe DeFalco, and said, you got to do something about this. This place is crazy. The inmates are running the asylum. And that's when they picked the commissioner, and it got thrown on my shoulders. And it's been a mess ever since.
So pretty much you're now the target of Kevin Cross.
Yeah, that's how I would put it. Some other people would say that, he's the target of me, that I put a bullseye on his chest, but I don't see it that way. I don't.
No, but nonetheless, I have seen some of your guys' in-ring promos, and I will say you guys do work very well together. Specifically, him making fun of you and you taking it. Yeah, no worries. It's all good. It's torture. He has that way though, to be honest.
It's torture. Look, I did the guy the biggest favor. Within 10 minutes of being hired as commissioner of Future Stars of Wrestling, I get an email from Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett and I go back about a year, ever since he was promoting the New Japan pay-per-view here in America with Wrestle Kingdom 9. I did an interview with him. We became close. And as soon as he found out, because word spread quick that I was commissioner, he sent me an email with a video attachment inviting an FSW wrestler to the very first GFW taping. And I chose Kevin Cross. Why? Because he was going to be thrown right into that global tournament, and he would be put up against Bobby Roode, one of the best in the entire world, and he would prove that he didn't have to cheat. He didn't have to take the easy way out to go up against him. He gets injured in that match, hurts his shoulder, and then blames me every day since. Makes my life a living hell, stalks me at work, calls me on the phone, calls my friends, my co-workers, bitches in the middle of the ring in front of everybody, and I can't take that. He blames me for every little thing that happens in FSW, and he has these damn Kool-Aid drinkers that sit ringside. Also, they call me up every day, calling me pissy pants or whatever. Let's not even get into Kevin. Let's move on to
It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Let's take
You're heating me up over here.
Let's take a breather. Let's take a breather and kind of get that out of the way. Kevin Cross is his own guy. Obviously, he's a highlight talent for FSW.
He could be the greatest champion FSW ever seen. He just has to follow the rules. He doesn't need to stalk people. He doesn't need to torture. So tomorrow night, every single time Kevin Cross steps into an FSW ring, he must defend the title. And tomorrow night, he will against an opponent of my choosing.
Exactly, and that's the one thing that I always like about a specific type of stipulations that way, because you don't know what's going to happen, and that's very exciting. Now, can you give us any hints of who you're planning on, or is that kind of a hush-hush moment until the time comes?
A human being.
A human being. Well, thankfully.
It could be somebody he's already faced. It could be somebody that's wrestling already on the card that night. You never know. Maybe it's somebody from the early days of Future Stars of Wrestling, from back when it started. Maybe an original will show up tomorrow night at Silverton.
You never know. Now,
Who knows?
Kevin...
Jake the Snake Roberts is going to be at Silverton. Maybe I'll put him in there with Jake the Snake. Maybe I'll put him in there with the damn snake.
There you go. WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, who will be in attendance of the show, actually. So
that documentary?
I have not. No, unfortunately, I have.
iTunes. Check it out. The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It's inspiring. It's wonderful.
I do have actually an editorial writer, Harry. Shout out to Harry at Highspot Harry on Twitter, who did an actual, who saw it and pretty much did an editorial piece on it and said that he loved it. You know, it's an awesome. It's one of those things that you see somebody fall pretty much the lowest as possible that they can, and they raise themselves back up. And you know what? I haven't seen it yet. I do want to. When I get time, I will definitely watch it. But it's definitely something that I do. It's on my list to watch. There's so much on my list to watch.
Worth every penny, and you'll watch it over and over again. DDP does amazing work. Him and Scott Hall as well. You can't forget about him. He's in that documentary as well. Definitely
exactly. Now, let's get off the case of Kevin Cross, because I know that heated you up a little bit. That's all good. When it comes to FSW, obviously you haven't been a commissioner for them the whole time. You've been a commissioner for I think 1 or 2 years, I believe.
Under a year.
Under a year. 2 years is not. Ignore that.
But I've been with FSW since 2011, so this is my 5th year.
Well, that's actually what I was going to ask, is how did you start with FSW? Like, how, obviously you weren't just the guy that'd be like, hey, you, come over here, let's try something with you.
Well, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and in my time in Ohio, I was on radio, CBS radio. In fact, there was a radio station based off of the Las Vegas station that I work for now. It started in Cleveland. I worked for that. They transferred me out to Vegas, and that's how I got started in Vegas. But while I was in Ohio, I did some work for indie organizations, ring announcing, interviewing, pretty much the same stuff I was doing for FSW, but on a much smaller scale. And when I came out here, I was out here for a few years. FSW started up. I was sitting at home. It was a downtime between radio gigs. Everybody sometimes experiences. Howard Stern once said, "You're not in radio until you get fired." So, I was fired one time, sitting on my ass at home, and I get an email from a Joe DeFalco, never heard of him before, and he said, "Why don't you come down to the facility? Maybe you can help out FSW." And I said, "Look, I'm not on radio right now. I can't give you the free promotion like every damn promoter and booker out there wants." And he said, "No, I know, and why don't you still come down? I'm sure you can help us out in some way." And within a couple months, I'm hosting the shows, the live events, and then I'm hosting on TV. And next thing you know, 4 years later, commissioner. And now, a year after that, I'm getting gray hair all over my head thanks to...
Well, there you go. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't notice, he is in his studio right now, because pretty much after this, you're doing your shows.
X1075, LasVegas.com. You can listen live online as well. And if you're in Vegas, just turn your radio to X1075.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you have to understand from my point of view, I'm a little intimidated because he's an actual radio guy, and I'm like, oh, crap. What have I gotten myself into? So when it comes to FSW, obviously your position as a commissioner, it's a very high position for a promotion. What do you do? What do you handle in the promotion itself?
Well, it's my job to commission the matches that take place. So the owners and I sit together. The owners are pretty busy. Look, Joe DeFalco, not only does he handle the talent, he books them, he brings them in, he handles a lot of the promotion, a lot of the production, he is play-by-play guy. Rocky T, he handles a lot of the money. He also is a manager in Future Stars of Wrestling with the Players Club, and they are a lot to contain. They're almost wild animals. You can't control them, and so he's always off gallivanting with them. So somebody has to watch the wrestlers, and especially the officials, who seem to be afraid of the wrestlers because some of them like to drop the referees on the back of their necks and knock them out, to the point where I have to take over as referee, and that's not fun when I have to get in the middle of that ring. You know how dusty that damn mat is? That's not a place for me. Come on now.
Yeah, we won't comment on who decides to drop referees on their neck, so... so pretty much it's what you do as commissioner, is pretty much just commission the matches. Do you have a say in creativity when it comes to character-wise, to when it comes to actual like match layout, anything of that nature? Do you have any say in that, or is it pretty much you allow them to go in there and do their thing?
They go in there, they do there's a lot within management. Management has what they want happening in Future Stars of Wrestling, but a lot of creativity is placed in the hands of the wrestlers themselves. And what they come up with is some amazing stuff.
Well, you know what? That's something that always kills me, is that when it comes to wrestling, if you have a character in mind, if you know that you have a character that you want to portray in that ring, being forced to play someone else is never the best call for that person. So
I don't have a problem with that. I think it helps build a character. You wouldn't go to Warner Brothers when they're creating Friends and they say, "Hey, we want you to play Joey," and you go, "Nah, I want to play Max." And No, we don't have a Max. There's a Joey. You have that. You have an opportunity to do that. I think it's great to prove yourself if you're just breaking into the business. And then after you earn your stripes a little bit, maybe get some leeway, unless you're great off the start. There's only been a couple people that have been amazing since day one, but if they could just obey the goddamn rules, they could be even better.
Obviously, there's some inner tension there by the looks of it.
What are we talking about again? I'm not sure.
No, so pretty much what I was saying is that when it comes to characters, like when it comes to being just creative freedom in the ring, obviously they have to have limitations, but I'm just saying it's like you allow them to go out there and be creative for what they're able to output to the audience. Now, speaking with the audience, you know, in any show, any promotion, audience participation is very important.
Yes.
I know you've had your issues with the audience sometimes.
I don't have an issue with them, okay? You know, so if I'm the punching bag, so be it. Part of wrestling is like an old Western melodrama. You go in there, there's the hero, the damsel in distress, the villain that you boo and hiss, but mostly there's the audience who gets to participate. Whether they are cheering the hero or, oh, when the damsel comes in, or boo!
Yeah.
When the evil villain comes onto the screen. So they get all upset over that. So that's what wrestling is. It's a modern day melodrama, and part of it is, hey, I hate my life, I hate my job, I hate my family. It's Friday or Saturday nights, I'm going to go to wrestling, and oh, look, there's Commissioner Pauly Kover, and because he doesn't agree with my favorite wrestler, Kevin Cross, I'm going to boo the shit out of him. And so I become their verbal punching bag, which is perfectly fine, okay? If I can give them their release, then so be it. If I can give them some release for a few seconds on a Saturday night from their miserable, stinking lives, I'll do that.
Exactly.
Thank
Now,
you for buying a ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, one thing I was going to ask is when it comes to the audience, how do you usually try to make them a part of the show? Like to get them in, obviously, instead of booing at you, how do you kind of get the audience to feel like they're included in the shows?
Well, you include them. Lately, and this was on Joe DeFalco, our owner, he started a raffle where the fans get to interact. If they, you pay $1 or $2. I don't know how much the raffle is. I don't handle the money. It's not my end of, that's not where my gray hair comes from. So
yeah.
You enter the raffle, and if your name's picked, you get to choose a certain match, or you get to be the manager or an announcer in a match. And that happens at our smaller house shows at the FSW arena.
Okay.
And they become involved, which brings them out to the shows. And then we have a few fans that like to make signs, and then other fans like to make signs. Or when you come out, you just give them that look, or they give you that look first, which causes you to get a little upset. And I love our FSW fans. They're wonderful. They're amazing. But
you know what, though? The benefit I always find with small promotions, too, is you have that dedicated audience. You have those guys who are like, I love this promotion. I'm going to go with this promotion. I don't care where it's being played. I'm going to go there. Do you have any of those guys in your audiences?
They are so loyal. They show up at every single show. I see the same faces in the front row. I don't know how anybody new can make their way to the front row, because at every show, they buy tickets for the front row to the next show. That's how addicted to FSW, to pro wrestling in general. There's a few promotions in town. You'll see these dedicated fans at each and every single show in Las Vegas.
And that's what you always got to love about those fans, too.
And even from California, they come in sometimes. Your face went.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how far do people travel?
Well, when you have wrestlers that come in from California, people do want to. It's Las Vegas. If you see that there's a show on a Saturday night, why not take a road trip to Vegas? Hang out for the weekend.
Oh man, I have yet to be in Vegas. I have been in Canada for a very long time, and I have never gone to Vegas.
Get that passport. Get to Vegas. Enjoy a show.
I have a passport.
In action. That's your buddy.
Exactly. Now, you mentioned earlier that Global Force Wrestling gave you a contact, pretty much. Hey, listen, you have a talent there. We want to showcase them on the show that's coming to Las Vegas. Can we ever expect any more collaborations that way with different promotions, or was that kind of like a one-time, one-off type of thing?
I mean, we've worked with GFW. We've had interaction with ROH. If you saw their last couple shows in Vegas, that ring was FSW's ring.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Absolutely. There's been interaction, and I'm sure there will be in the future when those opportunities come up. Let's see what happens with Global Force Wrestling first. I would love to see that product on TV. They filmed 15 episodes, I believe, right here in Las
Yep.
Vegas. And I think through that time, there were at least 9 superstars that have been through Future Stars of Wrestling, whether they're big names from the past, current names in the present, or the future stars that you see.
No, and that's the one thing. Global Force Wrestling, it was a ton of promotion with their line, and you know it's taken a while. I will say that. Like I know since the first time I ever saw an actual tweet from Jeff Jarrett regarding Global Force Wrestling, it was like 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, this is wicked. Then obviously a few years down the line, people were questioning it because they didn't know what was going to happen with it or no. But eventually, obviously they're outputting outputting more episodes now. They're taping episodes. I think I don't know what TV deal have they gotten a TV deal yet?
Last I heard, there was something in the UK, but I haven't seen anything further with that. But great episodes, amazing shows. I mean, I was there for each and every taping. There were a lot of people backstage. I got to help out with that. So it was a good time. You know, Jeff Jarrett's a great guy. Karen Jarrett, amazing. The producers behind it, Kevin Sullivan, not that Kevin Sullivan, the producer Kevin Sullivan involved.
Yeah.
Amazing. I learned so much. It was the most professional experience I've ever had, whether it's been radio or wrestling. Just an absolutely amazing professional experience.
No, yeah, Jeff Jarrett is one of those guys that he sees benefit in the business, and you know he's not in it for himself. He's in it for the audience, for the fans, for the talents themselves. If I could ever get him on the show, I'd be very ecstatic.
When he does something up in Canada, you know.
Or just in general anywhere.
Yeah.
So obviously you're a music guy. You love music. You live music. It's more than a hobby for you. It is your life. You can pretty much say that music is priority over wrestling at times. Oh,
a lot of times. I mean, I'm always in here. I'm constantly listening to new music.
There you go.
Local bands, new bands, artists, digital crap, digital great stuff. Rock crap, rock great stuff. I mean, there's everything. Name it, my ears have heard it.
I'm pretty sure I'm in the category of crap because
Not necessarily. I mean, you might like some good stuff. I mean, you mentioned Aqua earlier.
Oh yeah, that wasn't recorded. So thanks. Yeah, I used to listen to Aqua. Yes. That's not the highlight of my life, but yeah. But the reason I bring that up is because obviously music in wrestling is very important. You identify a character, you hear that specific, like for example, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Glass Shatter, all of a sudden his music comes on you, that's notorious to him. Rock had his, you know, what Can You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking, that was notorious to him. Same with Undertaker, the bell toll. Music has a big effect when it comes to character building. Now, when it comes to FSW, do you do anything with music? Do you recommend music? If you hear something and you're like, you know what, this would be perfect for example, Kevin Cross, Tyshawn Prince, Nick Price, you know, do you have anything of that nature where you identify and assist in any type of music collaboration with the promotion?
I did when I started. I would I guess DJ prior to the show to get the adrenaline going. But as far as the music, like most indie organizations, the performers themselves have a lot of say in what they want to have as their theme song. Kevin Cross. Okay, here's another little positive mark in his case. He came up with his own damn music. That's his. That's all his. He did that himself. So I mean, you got to give props to Kevin Cross. I listened to it and I went, who's doing your videos? He did it all himself.
Yeah. He's always been like, even in high school, he was the guy who did the music and everything for himself too.
Yeah. So I mean, that guy, he is a Swiss Army performer, Swiss Army worker, and one of the best you could possibly have on your roster if you could just get him the color in those lines, just a little bit. Kevin,
please just stay in the lines, Kev.
Oh, you're gonna have a good opponent tomorrow night, Kevin. Okay, so just get a nice meal in your belly, have the blood flowing, the oxygen in the lungs, get nice and stretched, and let's go out there and get ready to hand over that title.
Exactly. No, I'm having a URL problem here. Why am I having a URL problem?
Are we gone now?
Oh no, we're live. We are live. It's just for some reason the link that I had originally isn't working, and I don't know why. That's why I hate live streaming on YouTube sometimes. You're still in beta. Fix the shit. Anyways, though, let's continue on because this video will still be saved. When it comes to obviously your position, you've said before that obviously management has a lot more control regarding characters, regarding anything and everything that goes on to the promotion. Do you by chance have any type of input on character developments with the stars? Do you kind of go back and be like, you know what, this would be a good idea. Would you want to try to this or do that?
Yeah. um, I would say in my earlier years, I don't do so much of that. I would like to do more of it now, but we haven't been lately with our television production, with a lot of the interviews and the promos that we shoot prior to a show. A lot of that was, management would say, hey, we just want to hear from A, B, and C prior to their match. You figure out how it's going to be presented. And you'd go there, you talk with the performer would come up and say, hey, I have this idea, I want to say this, or walk in from this side, and then I want this to happen. And you work it out together, and they come up with some great promos. So yeah, on that side of the production, there's a lot of input because I know what I'm talking about. So I know a few times, telling us, hey, why don't you say this, or stop saying so much. If I've said quite a few times today, I really do apologize. I pretty much just up.
I'm notorious for that. So yeah, no worries.
I'm more of the wipe the nose kind of. And I don't have any issue. I just have an allergy going on. Somebody was wearing perfume in here earlier. I'm not a cokehead or anything like that. That's not my direction.
Is that why you had to go pee earlier? Is that what it is?
I had to. Hey, don't mention peeing with anything that's wrestling. Okay, that's not something. No Santa Claus, no axes, no pissing.
No, exactly. That's the peeing and wrestling do not mix. Let's not try to do that.
You haven't seen that yet, have you?
I have not. No.
Oh, okay. Then I have to tell you because you have no clue what I'm talking about. Maybe I should.
Oh God.
So was
I really wish there was no correlation with that.
There was our Christmas show that we had, and Santa Claus was our special guest. My special guest that I brought out. I was so happy. I was like a little kid on Christmas morning. Santa Claus, Allie Parker, his assistant, with her nice ass cheeks hanging out. It was wonderful. Santa goes into the ring, wants to know what I want for Christmas, and of course, what I want is a champion I can believe in. I want the FSW championship to be in the hands of a true champion. Santa then reaches down into his sack and pulls out the FSW heavyweight championship. Santa also wasn't fat. He was really trim, and he was tall, and he was muscular, and then he takes off his beard, and it's Kevin Cross. Then he reaches back down into his sack and pulls out a goddamn axe. And I couldn't. I had a lot to drink beforehand. I get cotton mouth and I drink a lot of water, and it happened. Okay, my pants. It happened. I ran out of there. They were soaked, and that's it. Okay, the fans bust my balls. They called it Merry Pissmas. That's what they called it.
Is that why I'm seeing signs of Pissy Pauly?
It's not my attitude. I have a good attitude.
You do. You actually are a very nice guy. Very, very easy to talk to. I wasn't aware of that promo or that segment, so I apologize to have you relive that.
I made a video and posted all over the place.
No, he has not as of yet.
Oh man, TikTok.
So obviously, with promotions and everything, do you ever look at other promotions to kind of get little ideas here and there for what you guys can utilize on FSW? Or do you guys pretty much go, this is
copycat?
No, a variation. A variation.
Now I look around. I mean, the one thing that I'm really envious of, let's say Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Wow, their production value, absolutely amazing. Now, FSW started from scratch. When it started, there was a ring, there were wrestlers. As far as production and TV, the people that do that learned it from scratch. They didn't go to school. They weren't professionals. So to come up with the product that we have today, it's absolutely amazing. I would just like to see that next step and the quality of what Dave Marquez does out in Hollywood. Just absolutely amazing. And he's a family friend to FSW. So it's just, I would like some of that knowledge to come over this way into Vegas. That would be wonderful.
Now I haven't seen that promotion. Check
it out. A lot of the same workers that you'll see in FSW. A lot of the same names, but in different storylines, different positions, and it just it's that old studio wrestling, USWA, that style.
Okay.
That studio audience. It's real crisp, real clear production. Wonderful stuff.
No, that's pretty cool then. What is your favorite promotion to watch out of curiosity? Other than your own, so don't go cheap on me like that.
I'm talking all together.
Altogether, your favorite promotion to watch?
WWE, Mark. Altogether, that's since 1991. I am through and through. Vince McMahon can do no wrong in my eyes. I will never bitch about him, even if I want to bitch about him. I will not, because when you make billions upon billions, when you sit in the middle of that WrestleMania crowd and there's 78 or this year 100-some thousand people, and that energy is going, and you hear that glass break, which I'm sure we will in Dallas, Texas,
Oh, yeah.
and that place goes crazy. Or when The Rock comes out, or the Undertaker comes out, and that place erupts, you go, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Or 2 days earlier, when you're attending NXT, and you get this feeling. NXT, I went last year in San Jose, and I have not felt that energy since the Attitude Era. Not the same product as the Attitude Era, but
Yep.
energy from that crowd. They wanted to be there. They knew they were going to get what they wanted, and they got what they wanted. They walked out of there. It was great. And then they went to WrestleMania with a full heart on, ready to go, and they blew their load at WrestleMania, and it was just wonderful stuff. That's what
True.
WWE does. Nobody else could possibly do that, and that's why they're beyond wrestling. They're entertainment, and it's two different things, and nobody should try to ever be WWE. They are their own monster.
Yeah, and you know what? You always see everyone online bitching and whining. Oh, this show sucked, that show sucked, and try to tell WWE to change ways. But you know what? I find that you're very right. For a company that's been millions of dollars going strong year after year, yeah, they may have had their ups and downs, but to be fair, every company has their ups and downs. You're never going to have consistent success throughout your whole existence. So with WWE, they have to be doing something right. And even though, yeah, Vince may not be with the times, the guy can still put on a great show when he actually wants to.
We have some babies. I mean, just little tiny babies that are. I mean, a couple of them are champions in FSW right now. That talk about the old days of wrestling when they first. I mean, they're adults, okay? But I mean, I'm going to be 35 this year, so I'm feeling old with some of these 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are in FSW. So
yeah.
Let's talk about the old days and back when when John Cena made his debut in the old days, and I go, wow, that to me is still considered part of the new era of professional wrestling, and he's
they came on during the Ruthless Aggression era.
I was front row for that Ruthless Aggression speech. Met Vince McMahon that night, shook his hand. It was I said, great show, and he said, I'm glad you thought so. So obviously he didn't like that.
So what you met Vince McMahon?
Oh, a couple, not in a professional. Nice to meet you. My name's Pauly Kover. Hi, I'm hey pal. Not one of those. It was more of an in passing, shake your hand. Big fan of your product. Great show tonight. It was just one of those meetings. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So, what did your first opinion on him? Because some people obviously find him very intimidating. Some others are like, oh, whatever. It's Vince McMahon.
Oh, he's that's Vince McMahon. That's
yeah.
That it's like Elvis walking into a room. I was never around when Elvis walked into a room, or Hulk Hogan. That was another one. When I got to interview Hulk Hogan, and he stood next to me, I mean, the sweat was dripping. This was a different human being. This wasn't a human being. This was a monster.
Yeah. You've actually also interviewed Stone Cold Steve Austin for the radio station.
It was the WWE Network announcement. It was Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels that night.
Oh, what a lineup!
And that was my third time interviewing Shawn Michaels. First time in person, and Shawn's one of my favorites of all time. So to actually get to shake his hand and stand next to him, and he answered my question, and Austin too. It was very cool, surreal. That's the experience through the radio station that I've had with WWE. Getting to cover WrestleMania, sit on Radio Row for WrestleMania, interview some of the Paul Heyman last year. We had a 10-minute conversation. A microphone between us. I mean, that's it. It doesn't get any better than that, and that's what I appreciate the most about my job with radio and what CBS has provided for me.
No, Paul Heyman definitely is one of like a dream to do an interview with that man, because I've looked up to him ever since ECW, and he was just one of those guys that just has a passion for the business that just unfathomed. Like no one else can match that. Obviously, there's a difference between have a passion for the business as a manager state and have a passion in the business as a talent state. But Heyman has just that type of mentality that's like how to deliver to this audience, and you mature with the audience.
And if you ever do get to interview him, all you have to do is just say one word and let him just go from there. You don't have to say anything. He'll take up the entire hour if he needs to. He's just amazing.
Oh man, now I'm jealous. Oh, fuck this. This interview's done. Goodbye. If you could take one thing from any promotion, what would it be?
take.
Like if you can utilize one aspect of from one another promotion and use it on FSW, what would it be?
Take other than talent?
Sure.
I mean, there's a guy who has been FSW heavyweight champion and was a little over a year ago, and now he is the current TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Matt Hardy. There is no better example of a veteran in this business than Matt Hardy. What he brings to the table, whether you love him or hate him, the guy is a professional. He'll impart his wisdom to the younger generation. He will hold true and show respect to the older generation. And when you pay him money to come work for a promotion, he gives you every penny's worth, whether it's promoting, all the way up until showtime, or when he gets there, the meet and greets, the dinners with the fans, seminars, and then getting in the ring and actually doing what he goes in there, and that man's a pro wrestler. He's doing his job. Everything steps up a notch when Matt Hardy comes in there, and I would love to see him get another shot at that FSW heavyweight championship, because he and Kevin Cross can make music together. I'm sure of it.
And he's doing one hell of a job right now with TNA, being the champion and just having this new persona where you're like,
attitude.
Oh damn,
attitude, and that wife rubbing.
Is that what you're focused on? Is that what it is?
Oh, I'm just saying, the attitude. My goodness, not since Sherry Martel have we seen one like that. Come on,
that's very true.
Yeah, they're really great people.
For FSW, is there anything huge that we can expect coming from FSW anytime soon?
We have a show tomorrow night. A huge show tomorrow night. Kevin Cross is defending the title. Anytime that championship is on the line, it is huge for FSW. You got to go out there. You don't know who his opponent is going to be. Jake the Snake Roberts has an issue with Marcus Burke, who I believe is from Canada. He's a newcomer to FSW. He's a vegan, which already gets negative points in my book. And Jake was at our last show, the first one of 2016 at the FSW Arena, to address the crowd. It was the week that his documentary was released, and he was just addressing the crowd, mentioned that he had his hip replaced 7 weeks earlier, and this Marcus Burke comes in and just attacks Jake from behind. So Jake, who now lives in Las Vegas, will be at Silverton Casino tomorrow night, and he wants to confront this Marcus Burke. I don't recommend that he gets physical with Marcus. I mean, Jake has proven everything he needs to prove, whether it's in the ring or outside of the ring. I'm going to advise him that, but it's Jake. You never know what happens with Jake the Snake Roberts. I mean, a No Limit title going to be on the line. The No Limits title is for the division of guys that have no limits, and it's going to be Jacob Austin Young, our champion, versus Funny Bone. And if you've ever seen Funny Bone, he's a creep. He's a monster.
I have, actually, yeah. He was unexpected. You hear the name, you look at him, and you're like, that's not Funny Bone.
Terrifying. I mean, children have nightmares when he walks down the aisle. He's become from when I first started, some guy that used to chop me every time he saw me, leave handprints on my chest for 13 days. He was my original Kevin Cross, but nobody ever saw it on TV. That was all behind the scenes,
Yeah. You obviously mentioned Jake the Snake Roberts going to be at the show. What's he doing at the show? Is it just kind of like a meet and greet with the fans?
You can meet Jake the Snake Roberts. You show up an hour earlier. The bell time is 7:30. I believe the meet and greet is somewhere around 6:30, and you get to meet Jake the Snake Roberts. Talk to him for a few minutes. That's Jake the Snake Roberts. He can tell you a story, and you know what? He did some work with us several years ago when he was in that state of mind. Never a problem, never had an issue, but you could certainly tell he couldn't care less to be where he was or to even be himself. And to see this, he has a smile on his face, and to talk and to watch the matches and give pointers to the boys after the match. It's a different person. This is Jake the Snake Roberts. This is the guy you saw. This is the one of the greatest of all time. So it's really worth coming out here and meeting a legend like Jake.
And that's the one thing, right? Like it's good to see that he's doing a lot better as well, and just wanting to go out there and just entertain and not just be miserable. Yeah, because I saw some of those videos and it was kind of sad just to see specifically like a legend go down that route too. Is there anything you want to plug for FSW right now? like just in general, the website. If, like I said, the links can be found in the video down below. Make sure to check all those links. I'm having a linking problem right now with the video, but so this is going to go after the interview. This video is going to go up after the interview, but whatever.
Nobody's watching this right now, so they're watching this later.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So make sure to check it out there. But other than that, is there anything you want to plug? Website, merchandise?
FutureStarsOfWrestling.com, YouTube.com/FutureStarsWrestling. No of. I don't know. Maybe you get. I don't know why that's that, but Future Stars Wrestling, and check out everything. FSW's history is up on YouTube. Forget about TV. I mean, when you have stuff like the WWE Network, and you have Apple TV and Google Chrome and the Chromecast, and you can just watch YouTube on your television, who the hell needs cable and who the hell needs satellites? And I know that you still have to wait up in Canada for the network and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You have YouTube, so you can enjoy the FSW product and stream it on any device you want to stream it, and you can see the history and the evolution of the product, all the champions from the beginning. Do you know who the first champion was?
I don't know, unfortunately, I do not.
Kenny King. You ever hear of him?
Oh, Kenny King. Yeah, of course I do.
Vegas
I've heard of him.
Very first FSW champion. Because of that, went on to greatness in ROH, in TNA, back in ROH again, and he will be there tomorrow night taking on Hyperstreak at Silverton Casino.
I was gonna say he's back in FSW too, competing for you guys. The guy, you know, he didn't get enough credit in TNA, to be honest with you. That's where I actually got introduced to Kenny King. But yeah, the guy, I love his in-ring work. You know, he's very entertaining to watch, and he's just very charismatic and very energetic in the ring.
I recommend when you go to YouTube.com/FutureStarsWrestling, check out Kenny King versus Kevin Cross inside of a steel cage. It's a very interesting match. And you'll see the special referee towards the end of the match, because a bunch of referees got knocked the fuck out from a certain future champion in FSW.
Yes, and I saw your reaction afterwards because I watched the match. It was a great match, but you were not happy.
Not in the least, but that's not how you do it in FSW. That's what the fans now, they've grown accustomed to that sort of action, but that's not how it works. He has to obey the rules, and that is my job. That's why they appointed me. And when they say, Pauly, don't you like Kevin Cross? Don't you enjoy the product? If I were a paying fan, of course, I would be cheering the guy like you wouldn't believe. But as somebody that was a host, and I interviewed and I helped with creative, I helped on the production, I helped promote the product, to see my friends get hurt, to see my friends get chased out of Future Stars of Wrestling because they couldn't stand in that spotlight with them because he wouldn't let them. To see that happen, I thought it was unfair, and that's when I went to the management, and that's when they appointed me as commissioner. And it's my job to untangle the knots in FSW, whether it's something I enjoy doing or it's something I don't enjoy doing. I want to see the best for FSW.
Exactly.
So
and
I'm
you know,
the good guy.
And yet everyone boos for you. So there was some fan questions that actually came in. Some interesting questions, but might as well ask away.
Friends of yours? What is this? Come on.
Oh no, they're friends of yours.
Oh,
for example, the first one is a friends of yours. At Maddie_Barowitz. If I want to get a bitch in the mood, which WrestleMania should I show her? So, if you want to get a bitch in the mood, which WrestleMania should you show her?
Now, in your opinion, which is the most boring WrestleMania of all time?
In my opinion, I think it's WrestleMania 10.
10.
Not really sure.
Wow, in the Garden, Brett versus Owen. That was the first match of the night.
No, I'm thinking of another one.
9 in Vegas, the one in Vegas with Giant Gonzalez versus Undertaker.
I think that may be the one I'm thinking about, because it was just
incorporated.
I can't remember a lot of these. You know what? Everyone always says it's WrestleMania. This happened. It's like, I understand that. I don't remember every single match and every single WrestleMania number. I have to look it up, but I remember the matches, and yeah, I think that was one of them.
I'm pretty sure all the way through. I think WrestleMania 10 or 11, and then it just starts going nuts after that.
Actually, I think for me it was WrestleMania 11. I think that's the one that I found really boring, like the Shawn Michaels and Diesel match. Like it was, I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but
okay, so WrestleMania is 9. Maddie, whoever the hell you are, Maddie, who likes to bust the balls of everybody at CBS Radio and Future Stars of Wrestling. Maddie, who I guess is dedicated. I have never met Maddie, but Maddie is at every FSW show. So Maddie, either WrestleMania, not even that Maddie even cares, WrestleMania 9 or 11, okay? Because I suggest the least active WrestleMania and or the most boring, whatever you want to say. And that way she wants to do something else, one of your fat bitches.
Well, there you go. That's a great example. Actually, out of curiosity, when it comes to WrestleManias, which one do you find the most entertaining? Like, I'll give you mine. For me, it was WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania 3 with with Macho Man, Ricky the Dragon, the Steamboat. You had Hogan, Andre the Giant. You had was a Honky Tonk Man and Jake Roberts. So that one itself, specifically with the 93,000 fans that were in attendance. That for me, that was like the best WrestleMania. Yeah, exactly. So which one do you find the most entertaining?
Well, there's the first one I ever saw, which was WrestleMania 7. My dad did not let me order it on pay-per-view, so I had to wait until it was released on VHS. So there was a store down the street, Ron's Video, and I would call them every day. I want to be reserved for WrestleMania 7, so they had me on that list. The day it came out, I rented that video, and I rented it every time. I had it every day after that for like a month and watched it over and over. Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter, Ultimate Warrior versus Macho Man Randy Savage, that retirement match, which to me is the greatest wrestling match that I have ever seen, story-wise, not wrestling-wise, but story-wise. When they come out there, Warrior walks to the ring. He doesn't run to the ring. Elizabeth is sitting ringside. Sherry is, in Macho Man's corner, and then she beats the hell out of him after the match and the reunion. There's that dude crying at ringside, and Bobby Heenan and the commentary. There's nothing better than WrestleMania 7. And then what was great is my best friend back home, when I became friends with him, gave me all of his old VHS WWF tapes that he had. And they all came from Ron's Video when it closed. And right there on the top was WrestleMania 7. So I own that very VHS tape of WrestleMania 7. I don't have a VCR, but I own that tape. So WrestleMania 7 or WrestleMania 24 in Orlando, I was there. I saw, Ric Flair versus HBK, and that match was just amazing. Again, another one with tears going down your face.
Yeah, the retirement one, yeah. And that was a match where I was like, I don't want to cry, but I'm gonna have to.
happiest moment of my life, WrestleMania 24. I'm sitting, it's that seat, I'm halfway back on the floor, and it's the seat right against the ramp where they come down. I am that seat. There's nobody blocking my view from the entrance ramp. That's
a great seat too. Great view.
Wonderful seats, and a lot of money for that seat. WWE doesn't hook you up with that one. You'll be up in the press box somewhere for free tickets on that.
Yep.
So you work hard and you earn your money for that, and then you put it on a credit card and you take 5 years to pay it off. So my friend and I are sitting on those seats, and then there was a dad and his kid. The dad, who cares? Maybe he liked wrestling when he was a kid, but his kid loved it. And to see the joy in that kid, and I asked him who his favorite wrestler was. He said The Undertaker. And I went, it's my favorite wrestler. But I said, okay. I said, Dad, I told my friend Wayne, because when they come out, if you've ever been to a WWE live event, especially WrestleMania, when the entrances happen, everybody rushes the barricade. Yeah. And you can get hurt. You could suffocate. And this little guy, so we formed a barricade around this kid so he could watch The Undertaker walk down and nobody was blocking his view. So that was my happiest moment ever, because I remember being his age, and nobody ever did that for me, and I was always getting beat up and knocked over by big guys that were.
They don't care. Sometimes people don't care.
Rushing the barricade to high five a grown man that's all oiled up. Sit down, let the kid run up there.
Sit down, let the kid high five the man that's all oiled up.
Damn money to get that aisle seat. It's all part of wrestling.
I actually was looking at, because WWE is coming to Toronto for a WWE Network special in March. It's the Road to WrestleMania thing.
Yes, you got to check
now. Unfortunately, I wanted to get tickets, but the only available ones left were like $500 each, and I'm like, okay, I'm not that much of a rich man. I really am not. But hopefully I'll try to get something with these guys.
Where are you, Toronto? They have radio stations.
Oh, they have radio stations, yeah. None of them have been giving away tickets, though.
Bastards.
Sons of bitches. Maybe not yet. Maybe closer to the date, they'll probably give away some, because then I will try my ass off to get those tickets. One more question from On The Mat PC. Please tell me I'm not the only one disgusted by how last night ended. Now, based on the time frame I got this question, it was during Royal Rumble time, where Triple H was number 30 in the Royal Rumble this past week, actually. And he won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, becoming a 14-time World Heavyweight Champion. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. I mean, when was the last time, other than The Rock, which was, what, 3 years ago already?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, when was the last time somebody from the Attitude Era was champion in WWE? It's been quite a few years, especially Triple H, the guy who had the reputation of burying everybody in his path.
Still does.
Could put over anybody, and now is the one that is creating talent, taking people that had no chance of ever making it in WWE, putting them in the spotlight. Of course, it's time for him to be champion again, because there's nobody else to hold that title, especially when everybody's injured at the moment. So he could really carry the company into WrestleMania, and I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I'm hoping this finally is the piece that will make the crowd either support or fully hate Roman, whatever they decide to do. With Roman being the boo magnets that he's become, they could also do what they need to do now with John Cena, because that's been taken off of him. So he could either be really cheered, or he can change a little bit if he needs to. But I see eventually number 15 coming in, and then John Cena and Triple H trying to see who's going to match Ric Flair. Because I would love that. That's where I see that going at a future WrestleMania.
And hey, I'm totally with that too.
It's a main event right there.
Yeah, like for me, the thing with when it came down to Triple H, immediately I knew when he wasn't around. All of a sudden, when Royal Rumble was coming around, I'm like, okay, well, Triple H has to be the 30th entrance. Roman Reigns took him out. He hasn't been around for weeks at a time because he was training his ass off to look great to get in that ring, and he does. He still looks in great shape. Comes in, obviously wins, and what really stood out to me was the fact they gave Dean Ambrose and Triple H the final Royal Rumble moments, which tells me that they see something in Dean Ambrose.
Well, where's that end up? Who's turning on who in that match? You know the Wyatts are doing something to get Brock out of that picture.
Oh, no, of course. I'm not seeing Brock Lesnar winning that match in any way, shape, or form. At Fastlane, the main event, which is Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns for the WrestleMania 32 main event, I'm not seeing Lesnar winning that at all. I'm seeing, obviously, already, based on SmackDown that we saw recently, is that there's obviously a hint of something that's going to happen between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. And in the end, I do see Dean Ambrose turning on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, not for the Authority, but for himself, because he's sick and tired of being under that spotlight.
Do you see Roman, though, siding with the Authority at some point? If you can't beat him, join him.
I don't know. I don't see that yet. That's my only issue. I mean, as much as I want to see Roman Reigns with the Authority, I don't know. Not as long as Triple H is the champion.
Who's the top heel right now? Who is the top heel?
Top heel at this point in time.
That Triple H? Is it really Triple H who everybody's?
I think.
I mean,
like in a way, yeah. And the Roman Reigns has some heat on him, but there's no real major heel at this point in time. Obviously, you have the New Day who are trying to do heels, but other than that,
heels, you can't put them in a main event storyline. They're the cool heels. You're buying their merchandise. They are the anti-heel. So they're not technically. I mean, Seth Rollins by far. He played that character to the T. I mean, he didn't care if he was getting cheered at all. He tried everything he could to prove to you that he was the greatest wrestler on the roster, and then cut every corner he possibly could, which is what a heel does. And he didn't care if you were booing him.
No, so that's what, and I always love people or being like, oh, he was booked incorrectly, he's booked this, he's booked that. It's like, no, the guy was meant for you to hate him. That is the purpose of a heel. They are intended to have you hate them, and how he had J&J Security always help him out, and then he would win the match, and then in the end say, oh, I don't need help, I know I win all my matches. It's a heel tactic. It's a standard heel tactic, and it's perfectly done.
What the current mentality is with why heels can't be hated anymore. Why? I mean, I understand the fans do their own thing and they cheer whoever they want to cheer. But sometimes a lot of the heels in the business are worried about merchandise sales and worried that, or their personal feelings get hurt when they hear a boo. I think their feelings should be hurt when they hear nothing at all, or they're not getting booked. But to be booed is a wonderful thing. To be hated is great. Your stock only goes up when you get that sort of reaction. They want to hate somebody. So if everybody's loved, you're going to get a really shitty show. Because somebody has to be hated.
And you know what? People have gone on Twitter and said, "Oh, you know, boo this guy, boo this guy, boo this guy." Yeah, but it's like you're telling WWE then that this guy gets a reaction from you. If you don't want anyone to go anywhere in the business, don't cheer for them, don't boo for them, don't buy their merchandise, don't do anything for them. Then they'll eventually wither away because obviously they're not giving any type of the audience is not giving them attention. But the moment you were like boo boo to a guy, then there WWE is like, okay, well this guy's getting a reaction. That's good. So let's see what we can go with him.
And that's not just WWE. That's everywhere.
Yeah. Of course, everywhere. That's a common, it's a common thing with any promotion.
A bunch of guys that are really afraid to be hated because it might affect the popularity contest, but it's really part of the job to be hated if that's what you are. If you're somebody that cuts corners, if you're somebody that's going to do crazy moves and be hardcore, and sometimes you're going to get booed in that process because you're going up against somebody that they like, and vice versa. Sometimes you have something organic and you can't help it. No matter what that person does, they can go out there and be vulgar. They can go out there and they can sacrifice your firstborn child in the middle of that ring, and the fans will still drink the Kool-Aid and they'll show up every time with his t-shirts, and then eventually he becomes champion and just starts running the world, and he breaks your back. But
exactly. But anyways, that is all my that's all my questions, unfortunately, as of right now.
Have we been doing this for over an hour?
A little bit, yeah.
Jeez.
A little bit. Yeah, 55 minutes, my man. 55 minutes. You have been talking
with anybody ever this long.
Well, there you go. This is what happens when you're in the wrestling business. So
this has been amazing.
So I do appreciate your time to coming out and being on the MOC exclusive. Obviously, I had some streaming issues, some linking issues. It'll be corrected after this, so the video will be up on Mind of Carnage.
I have a feeling I know who was behind any sort of streaming issue that may have happened to prevent this from being live, but I'm glad that you could show the recording afterwards.
Yeah, no. And that will go up. I think we have one person watching. He found the link, so thank God for him. But anyways, though, I do want to thank you for your time, for coming out. Is there anything you want to plug? Future Stars of Wrestling, the show coming up, any merchandise, anything you want to do, even your radio show. Feel free.
Okay. When will somebody see this? Are they watching now, or when can they? Will this be up immediately after?
Yes, it'll be.
I don't want to plug stuff that's already too old.
No, I'm not that slow. Thank you.
Well, hey,
it'll go up today.
Production team, maybe you can speed some stuff up. Okay, so tonight, if you're in Las Vegas, you could watch Future Stars of Wrestling High Octane. It's a half-hour TV show that I know that Mike Tenay watches. He lives out here. He likes to give his little critiques to the program. Mike Tenay, great guy. You can watch that, MyLBTV, 1 a.m. You're going to be up, you're going to be drunk, you're going to be in Las Vegas. Watch some Future Stars of Wrestling. You can watch it anytime, past episodes, youtube.com/Future Stars of Wrestling. See it in person, Silverton Casino, Saturday night. That's tomorrow night, January 30th. Jake the Snake Roberts is going to be there. You can meet Jake the Snake Roberts. Kevin Cross defending that FSW heavyweight title against an opponent of my choosing. All the championships on the line. Show up there if you need more info. Go to futurestarsofwrestling.com. Find us on Facebook. You can find me at the Pauly Kover on social media. I'm sure the links are posted below. And just follow all my stuff, and I'll always keep you updated. And listen to me on X1075. You can check out the website, x1075lasvegas.com. I'm sure there's more, but I don't care.
It's no worries, man. And like I said, everything that he said there, all links can be found at the bottom of this video. So thank you so much, Thank you so much, Pauly Kover. I can't speak anymore. Apparently, it's getting late for me.
It was the end of the interview,
At least it was the end of the interview. Anyways, though, guys. See, now this is what happens at the end of the interview. My mouth just shuts down. It's not over yet. Anyways,
the Canadian weather. That's all.
Exactly, right? It's too freezing in here. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys want to check out any wrestling news, information, recaps, anything to do with the wrestling world, make sure to go to www.mindofcarnage.com. If you guys want merchandise from Levels of Wrestling Family, the Wrestle Addicts, Rambling About Wrestling, Just Saying Podcast, myself, Mind of Carnage, make sure to go to tpublic.com/user/Cade Carnage, the Wrestle Addicts, Levels of Wrestling. And I think there's another. Hey, just saying wrestling. You guys can find all of our gear on there, so make sure you check that out. March 31st, we are doing a stream for Connor's Cure to pretty much do a charity event for them. So make sure to check us out there. More detailed information will come up closer to the date. And thank you so much, Pauly Kover. I appreciate you taking the time to come out for your first interview. I love that, for your first interview.
That's a great thing you're doing. That Connor's Cure. That's a great charity.
Yes, pretty much. To let you know and let everyone else know, we are doing. It's pretty much a 24-hour podcast that we're doing.
Oh, excellent.
We're doing a bunch of stuff. We already have a Cardinals Cure page going up closer to the date, so make sure to check this out. And more information will be released during the time comes. So it'll be one hell of a week because it's going to be going for the whole week.
Our 12 to 24 should be very interesting.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. And I've told them I'm a night owl, so I can do as much as I want. I swear to God, I can be energetic sometimes, and I guarantee by that I'm going to be dead. Just dead. Dead.
You have a lot of fun with that. I really do appreciate being on today. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. And I actually may be in contact with you anyways to see if you'd be interested in doing the thing for Cardinals Cure as well. Because it's a wrestling thing, it's a very good charity, and we'll see if FSW wants a little piece of that too.
I cried my eyes out at the Hall of Fame last year.
Oh, I know, ridiculous.
Little bitch inside of that building.
Damn you, WWE, for being so good at that. Anyways, though, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Pauly Kover, again, thank you so much. Make sure to check out the show tomorrow. And as always, guys, cause carnage, watch wrestling. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.